Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a matchup and we are going to be deciding who is actually better. Now we're going to be looking at ManThing and Dragon Man. First we're going to take a look at ManThing, and as you can see he's a 6-star rank 1 defensive tank according to his tags, making him very good for Alliance War defense, but these guys are pretty good for attack as well. And you're gonna see some of his synergies here. We have Ghost Rider, we have Thing, we have King Groot, so pretty good synergies for other team members to be on your team. And we are going to now look at his signature abilities, etc. is not awakened, but ManThing is also immune to bleed effects, and he's also immune to armor break and shatter effects because he lacks meaningful weak points to exploit. So that is important. He has 3 immunities: armor break, armor shatter, bleed immunities. So not too bad. He's not immune to poison and other things, shock, etc. So that is interesting as well. And he gets ManThing reacts to powerful emotions, and he gaining +5 agitation when struck, and this could go all the way up to 100. And just like on the hit meter, the more agitation he has, the more the stronger he gets, and the harder he hits. So as ManThing's agitation grows, so does his attack, gaining up to 1391.1 attack based on agitation, and this falls off over time. So you want to be aggressive with the champion to keep that agitation up. He has acidic secretions passive. Each time ManThing makes contact, he has up to 15% chance based on his current agitation to nullify a buff of the opponent. Again, he has toxic buffs as well, and you guys can read through all of this stuff. But what I'd like to say is ManThing seems to be pretty good because he has that very high health pool. This rank 1 has a health pool of 30,222, and when you look at Dragon Man, you'll see opposed to Dragon Man is only at 25,108, which is on average, which is about average for a 6-star. But ManThing has a much higher health pool. His attack is not as high because it's at 1772, whereas Dragon Man is at 1880. So Dragon Man hits a little bit harder, has a higher attack rate. Then again, you see his heavies, his special attacks, and we'll all see that in the gameplay. Toxic buffs. The guy is pretty durable when it comes. This is just an unawakened ManThing, so it's very durable. His second attack nullifies up to 2 buffs per hit, and his special 3. 100% chance to grant a fury buff, attack up to 1300 again, 100% chance to place a poison debuff on the opponent. So any opponent, any champion that is not poison immune is going to have a hard time with this guy. This guy is going to totally wreck you. So you want to bring in poison immune champions against ManThing. So there's a couple tips on that. Again, you could see his critical rating is 16.4, critical damage rating is 152.1%, and he has no armor rating, but he does have a block proficiency of 60.6, which is pretty good. Now let's take a look at Dragon Man's stats. Again, another defensive tank, so comparable. If you have ManThing and Dragon Man, remember, resources are very hard to come by. So who would you want to rank up first? Who would you take to the next level? You can see his synergies here with Mr. Fantastic, Tigra, and he has a pretty good synergy. All champs gain critical rating with Emma and Punisher, both Punishers. So not bad. He has pretty good synergies as well. But what I like about Dragon Man is he has the extra critical resistance, third from the bottom there at 10.2%. So his crit rating is 14.3. ManThing was 16.2. His critical damage is 151.1, same exact amount as ManThing. The additional is he has 10.2 crit resistant and 29.5 armor. Now when it comes to his immunities, he's bleed immune and poison immune because of his advanced robotics. So bleed, poison, and armor shattered immune. So this guy is an absolute beast. He's much like, he reminds me of Guillotine 2099 that brings poison immunity and bleed immunity to the gameplay, making her and him very, very, very good against a lot of paths in various quests in the contest. Now he also has a cornered where he reduces the ability accuracy of champions, and again he gains extra physical damages and stuff like that. We're gonna see that in the gameplay. So with him you want to corner the champion and just pound away on them as well. And at the start of the fight he has a power gain generating 12% of above power every second. So he does have that power gain ability as well, which gives him a very, very good advantage in the gameplay, because all you have to do is pretty much back off and that power gain triggers and it just takes you up to 3 bars of power. And as you can see in the gameplay, I'm going to try to just fire off his SP3s as many times as possible, just so that you see how devastating his hits are. Now, on a heavy, he removes any incinerates on the opponent, dealing a burst of 922 energy damage. If 6 or more incinerates are removed, this damage is increased by 50% damage. Now, anytime you knock down the opponent, gain an unblockable buff for 3 seconds duration, and it's paused against special attacks. So again, once the opponent is down, you get an unblockable. You can just fire off your SPs and it's guaranteed to hit. We're gonna just gameplay and see how that works pretty much in the gameplay. Attack 1 slows the opponent, reducing unstoppable and evade ability accuracy by 100%. So that is going to be pretty good against like Spider-Verse champions or anyone with an evade ability. And he also prevents them or reduces the ability for precision, cruelty, buffs, armor up, and fury as well, which is excellent. He's a very good control champion with that. And with slow, it triggers against natural class advantages as well. So SP2 is where he does a lot of damage with his dragon fire breath, and he deals a lot of, for each hit it's 922 energy damage, and it reduces the block proficiency of the opponent by 50%, and he increases the attack rating by almost 1200 for 30 seconds. So this guy is an absolute beast. SP3, you can fire off the SP3, and as you can see in the last note there, he regenerates a percentage of his hits when his SP3 is fired off. So you want to get in as much hits as possible, and you could do some regeneration as well. So this is the two guys here, ManThing and Dragon Man, and we're going to be taking in I believe ManThing first. Let's take a look at his gameplay, and then we're going to finish off the gameplay. So we're going to take Winter Soldier down with ManThing and just play around with the gameplay, take some hits, see how much damage these guys could take, because they are pretty durable. So we're going to take some hits at the start of the fight and see how they do. He's still down to 94%. He's back up to 95%. So we had a little regen there. And so here we go. The guy feels really nice firing it off, fires off a heavy, and he gains an unstoppable at that point. We're gonna fire off the SP2. We got a poison, we got armor break. So again, any champion that is not poison immune is going to have a very hard time against ManThing. So here we go. So he's very good for Alliance War defense, because a lot of champions, not everyone has a poison immune champion that they could bring in for specific gameplays and different parts. So he could probably do a lot of damage for champions or opponents that want to come in not prepared to deal with him. He has an annoying SP1 as well. It's sometimes difficult to block. Here you go, SP2, poison and armor break again. So his hits are a little bit more devastating. He goes unstoppable with that heavy again. But I haven't found a way to actually fire off that, get that unstoppable going. So I'm guessing you fire off the heavy and he's unstoppable. And you could gives you an opportunity to just hold block and not take that much damage from the opponent that actually immediately tries to attack you. So here we go, SP1 fires off that final hit, 2000 crit damage, not a whole lot of crit damage. The thing with these guys is not a whole lot of damage over time, but they're very durable and they can cause you a lot of damage if you make mistakes with them. So let's see if we could fire it off again. Again, he's bleed immune, so he's not going to take any, he's able to take a lot of hits from Winter Soldier and actually not be devastated or have that damage over time. The effect is pretty cool. He's just stuck there. He's 76%. Let's see how much he goes down to, 75%. So he's not a whole lot of damage on that SP3, but I guess it's the poison over time, and he's doing quite a lot of damage with that poison. So that is where his damage really is dished out. That damage over time with the poison effects, that SP3 is pretty devastating when it comes to long-term effects on the champion. Now we're gonna fire off that heavy again. He went unstoppable. I got clipped, and that's okay because this is just demo gameplay. Again, SP2 seems to be working pretty good for armor breaking the opponent. That heavy did make contact and was almost 6,000 crit rating on it. So I'm thinking that's because we had those 2 armor breaks on Winter Soldier. So you want to build the armor breaks as before you fire off that heavy, and you get a lot more effective damage going on in this gameplay. That parry is working pretty cool too. You're gonna fire off that SP. Boom. Here we go. Unstoppable, and that's where the unstoppable comes in. Fire off the heavy and you're able to go unstoppable and hold that block and take a lot less damage. Now we're gonna fire off that SP2. Here we go. Heavy again. SP3, sorry. SP3, and we're gonna, let's see, we held it for, he's at 45% health. Let's see if we can bring him down now. 44%, again, not a whole lot of damage, but let's look at the poison. Again, the poison is not as effective as the last hit, so that SP3 doesn't really do a whole bunch of damage to the opponent. I'm thinking SP2 does a lot more damage. That heavy applied some heavy armor break to him as well. We got the poison going. So yeah, so this champion is really durable. It has a high health pool, so you could take a lot of hits, a lot of damage, and still stay in the fight, giving you time to fire up that SP2. SP1 does some damage as well. That heavy attack, almost 5,000 crit rating again, and it did armor break the opponent again. Here we go. So what we want to do at the back end of this fight is, let's see if we could take some damage here and dish it out just as well. SP1. Again, not a whole bunch of crit going on here, but that heavy did do some damage and poison the opponent. So those heavy attacks are really doing a lot of damage. Went unstoppable again, actually no damage then. So again, it's not really guaranteed. Heavy did some damage with crit, and you keep going unstoppable. But SP2 did some poison damage, a little damage over time going, not a whole lot of damage again. So very durable, but the damage output is not as fantastic as other champions in the game. But again, this game plays, if you have ManThing and you have Dragon Man, who would you rank up first? Who would you spend resources on? They both have pretty good health pools. And we see that he is very durable. He's going to be a little bit annoying to fight if you're not poison immune. But here we go. Let's see if we take down Winter Soldier now with some hits here. That's an SP1. Let's see how much beating this guy can take. He takes quite a lot of beating. He's down to 22%. But here we go. No crits again on the SP. So very little critical hits on this guy. With this guy, very little critical hits, and the poison is what it's doing all the damage on this Winter Soldier. And he's going to be out for the count right here with the poison. Again, poison damage. So ManThing takes him down, and let's see how many hits. ManThing takes him down in 323 hits, and he received 39 hits. So 323 and 39 hits. So 39 hits from Winter Soldier is quite a lot to be still alive, and that's because there's bleed immunity. So he's not really doing the damage he would be doing against another champion that is not bleed immune. But here we go. Dragon Man comes into the fight, and remember, just to remember, his crit rating is 14.3%. He's 30,000 health. With ManThing was 30,000 health with 1772 on the attack. And now Dragon Man is 25,000 health with 1880. So the attack is a little bit higher. But Dragon Man also has that block proficiency, armor rating of 29.5, and critical resistance of 10.2%. And the critical damage were exactly the same, so I'm not going to think, I'm thinking we're not going to see a whole lot of crits again on this one. But he does have bleed, poison, and armor shatter. So let's see if he takes some hits. He should be able to take a lot more hits than ManThing. He has that ineptitude. The more ineptitude you have, the more damage he causes in that corner once you have them cornered. But what I'm very interested in seeing is his unblockable. He fires it off, he's unblockable, so we could go right back in to do some damage, and we could probably chain this over and over. We won't do it in this fight. See? His block proficiency is excellent there. We fire off the SP1, he goes unblockable. Right there. And then we could just chain this all day long, which we will not do in this fight because we want to see some extra gameplay. Again, the cornered is where you're going to do some extra damage, so you could just pound away on the champion. Right away, this Dragon Man feels very, very good to play. It's good to know that you have that great defense. The SP2 is going to do that incinerate hits. We're going to go unblockable. We could go right back into the damage mode and do so much damage to this guy. We could fire off the SP1. We're not going to do it. We're going to wait. We're going to look at that power charge, gaining power there. It's just a passive power gain at that point. We're unblockable again. We're going to take some hits, fire off that SP3 and see how we do. Here we go. We're gonna fire up the SP3. He's at 73% right now, and he is going to 72%. So right away, Dragon Man has a much better SP3. He did 2 points in 2 percentage points in damage, making him a little bit better with the SP3. He's taken a lot of hits. Again, this is unnecessary hits that we're taking, but we're taking it just to see how durable he really is. He's down to 55%. That block is holding pretty good. He's in cornered. We're gonna fire up that SP2, do that incinerate damage, and look at that. He goes right into unblockable. So we could continue dishing out the damage. And I'm thinking we could do that. Oh, that heavy again puts him into unblockable. So heavy puts you into unblockable where you could just chain that damage. So I'm thinking heavy. I'm thinking the way to play this guy is to get that heavy in the corner, go unblockable, and then fire off an SP. And every SP, whether it's SP1, SP2, it's guaranteed to hit because it's going to be unblockable. We're going to wait for SP3 here. We're going to fire it off. And again, remember I said we're going to fire off as many SP3s as possible because of that power gain. It makes him really good. It's pretty much like Hyperion, where he just gets to that SP3 and you could fire it off over and over. So in gameplay where you really don't need to be attacking the opponent too much, you don't want to attack into them, you just wait for that SP3 and fire it off, and it's going to be guaranteed hits, man. Look at that. He's going to go unblockable. And we could have fired off that SP2, but let's go to SP3 instead. So this guy is all day long unblockable. So in my opinion, so far, we're down to 37%, but that's because of the gameplay. We just want to take some hits. But this guy can stay high on the health pool. Remember his SP3, he gets a little bit of a power gain as well, regen, sorry. When he's beaten into the opponent, he takes some of that damage right back into his health. So he goes unblockable again. Again, at any time he's unblockable, we could just fire off the SP and it will hit and make contact with him. Guaranteed to be executed for full damage. But we'll be pushing him to SP3s just to see how many times this guy's gonna get up there. Again, he could go right into it, unblockable. Nice thing is parry and do that heavy. He goes unblockable, and if you had an SP, you just fire it off, and you could chain that, I guess, all day long. Here we go. He has us on stun. He has us down to, let's see what percentage we are at. 14%, 15%. Again, we're unblockable after applying that heavy. Yeah, so this guy is just a lot of fun, The effects are very, very nice to look at. The incinerates on the SP2 is pretty good. There you go. There we go. We chained the unblockable there from the heavy to the SP2. That worked out really well. His incinerates are just insane. He's just melting away. Again, he goes to unblockable. We're gonna fire it off again. Again, unblockable, we could charge in and it's guaranteed to hit. Nicely done. And now we're gonna really play this game the way it should be played. Fire it off, SP1. Unblockable, go right back into the beaten. And there we go. Winter Soldier is at 21%. We are at 11%. We're gonna fire that SP1. We put a slow on him. And now we're gonna play excellent gameplay here for that last 17%, the way it should be done. There we go. And I'm just showing you with very little health, when you hit this, get this guy unblockable, and with his ability to really hold that block and take very little damage. Unblockable. Boom. It's easy to beat down the opponent and really do a ton of damage with this guy. So I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna call it right now, I'm gonna say Dragon Man is better than ManThing. Both are very good champions, but I'm gonna say Dragon Man is better overall as for ManThing. I like him for attack. He's gonna be great at defense as well, but I'm gonna like him for attack as well. He did this in 317 as opposed to 323, and he took ManThing took 39 hits. Dragon Man took 57 hits. Now that's a lot of hits from this guy because he's bleed immune, armor shatter immune, and poison immune. He held up pretty good. He's more durable, I'm thinking, and he does a lot more damage with his attacks, and being unblockable with all his with his heavy and his SPs makes him the winner in my opinion. But please feel free to leave your comments below. Let me think which champion you think is better, and hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. Remember to work less, play more, enjoy life, and I'll catch you guys next time. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.